So today I'm going to be discussing how using equivalent fractions can help you when it comes to adding and subtracting fractions, particularly with those that do not have common denominators. So I'm going to start by just figuring out how do you create an equivalent fraction, and I'm going to use the area model to do so. So I'm going to start with 3/4, and the area model for 3/4, here is my whole, here are the number of parts, my denominator tells me the number of parts that I have, and how many are shaded, or how many of those parts I have, would be my numerator. So I have 3 of those shaded. Okay. If I want to create an equivalent fraction, say I want to figure out how many 12ths 3/4 would be equivalent to, I'm going to start by doing the same thing. So I'm going to start by creating my 3/4 again. And I'm trying to figure out how many other parts do I need to make this an equivalent fraction. So notice that I have the same number of shading, and I'm not going to shade any more, because when you want an equivalent fraction you want to have an equal number of shaded pieces. But in this case I'm just dividing my whole into more pieces. I have 12 pieces instead of 4. So to do that I have to think about how many other lines do I want to draw to divide this up into 12. Since I already have 4, the logical answer would be to use my numerator to divide it into 3 more parts, and I'm going to switch colors here so you can see what I'm adding. So I'm going to divide this into thirds. Okay, so now if I count the number of parts that I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's where I get my denominator. And because I did not shade anything else in, I can simply count the number of pieces that I have now that are still shaded, and that will be my new numerator. So in this case I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So therefore 9/12 is equivalent to 3/4. Now this would help in using the area model both in adding and subtracting fractions, especially if you do not have a common denominator. So let's just try one of those down here, and I'm going to give the equation 1/2 plus 1/3. Okay, so to do this I want to have equivalent fractions. Most students will quickly pick up that they can simply multiply the two denominators to come up with a quick common denominator, but I'm going to show you how this would work using equivalent fractions. So I'm going to start by drawing my 1/2 over here, and it's a square. I'm going to shade one of the two pieces, and then I'm going to be adding 1/3. So I'm going to make my 1/3 here, and I'm going to be adding them together. Now I want to have common denominators, so that means I need an equal number of pieces in both of these. To do that I am going to use a quick common denominator, which is 6. 2 times 3 would give me 6. So I have to think about this half and say, how would without extra shading, how would I turn this into sixths? Well, I already have 2 pieces. 2 times 3 is going to be 6, so I'm going to cut this into thirds. And over here I already have 3 pieces. I need to have a half here. So roughly these are all going to be equal sized pieces then. And then to add these I would simply add up the number of shaded pieces that I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to give me 5 out of how many pieces there are in the whole. There are 6 pieces in each of these holes, so that would be my denominator. So the answer of 1/2 plus 1/3 would equal 5/6. So that is how, using equivalent fractions, so this would be equal to 3/6, and this would be equal to 2/6, because I made these equivalent fractions. That is how using area model and equivalent fractions will help you with addition or subtraction of fractions.